Straight ahead on 12 News, all-night campout. Hungry customers pitch tents for one of Maple Grove's most anticipated openings. Then a walk to school that comes with a lesson.
My kids' safety is priority to me.
And possible infrastructure improvements. But first, loans in limbo.
Now I have clients that I can't even tell them when they will close.
The government shutdown's impact on home buyers. 12 News starts right now. The partial government shutdown is causing a ripple effect in the local housing market.
The shutdown is affecting government-backed housing loans. 12 News reporter Sonia Goins talked with a Maple Grove loan officer and a realtor who both say some of their transactions are in limbo.
The American dream of owning a home could be in jeopardy for some people trying to buy a home during the government shutdown.
I feel horrible for my clients.
Bernovic is a loan officer with Marketplace Home Mortgage. Some of his clients are using an FHA loan to buy new homes.
The biggest impact on that is on every loan we have to send a form off to the IRS and verify the client has filed their tax returns.
But those documents are taking a while to process because that part of the IRS is closed. To get past this, the mortgage company is bending the rules a bit to get those loans processed.
So we have made an exception during this time to, in lieu of that, we are able to get tax returns from the client, a signed letter saying these are the actual tax returns they've filed with the government.
The other big hangup is what's known as a USDA rural loan.
I have 3 USDA clients on hold.
These are government loans used to buy new homes outside metro areas.
I have clients that I can't even tell them when they will close, and I have no idea once the shutdown ends how long it'll take for USDA to get caught up.
Right now we have a few of them. We got some nervous people for sure.
Realtor Mitch Sparger is also in limbo. He's got a buyer using a USDA loan to finance a house.
He's packed, he wants to move, but he's not gonna because he's not gonna get the USDA money.
All the holdups could cause a ripple effect. If the buyer can't get a loan, that means the seller is stuck with his house, meaning they can't get the new home they want to get.
Right now we're really worrying about the after effects. And how long will that be? Is it 2 weeks? Is it a month?
The government shutdown could also hurt potential new home buyers who have locked into an interest rate.
If the shutdown continues and our lock period expires, that client may have to incur extra fees to extend their rate lock, or they may be subject to new rates.
But for now, everyone is just waiting for Congress to end the shutdown.
I'd like to think next week it'll be done, but who knows?
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Even when Congress decides to end the shutdown, it will take the Federal Housing Administration a while to play catch up on all those loans.
Former Minnesota Congressman and Senator Rod Grams has died after a battle with cancer. Grams died at his home in Crown, Minnesota late Tuesday night, according to a family spokesman. The 65-year-old Republican served 1 term in the U.S. House and 1 term as a U.S. Senator from 1994 until 2000, when he was defeated by Mark Dayton. Maple Grove lawmaker and gubernatorial candidate Kurt Zellers worked for Grams for 6 years. This photo from 1998 shows the 2 men together while Zellers served as communications director. Zellers says Grams was a middle-class farm kid at heart who made friends on both sides of the aisle.
I think he was really well liked by his colleagues, whether they were Democrat or Republican. You know, he and Ted Kennedy used to go out to dinner, and I don't think Ted Kennedy and he shared any politics alike, but you know, he did get a lot of Democrats to support him, especially on issues that he thought was important. Probably the signature piece of legislation he passed was the $500 per child tax credit.
Last month, the Grams family announced the former senator was in hospice care.
Local U.S. Representative Keith Ellison is out of jail after a protest near the nation's capital. Ellison and 7 other Democratic House members were arrested for blocking a street that crosses through the National Mall. They were protesting the lack of immigration reform, an issue that remains stalled amid a government shutdown. Ellison paid a $50 fine and was released after spending about 3 hours in a holding cell.
A native of Plymouth is hospitalized in critical condition after a climbing stunt went wrong. Authorities say 24-year-old Stephen McKinney was climbing a utility pole near the U of M campus when he was knocked to the ground after coming into contact with live wires. Witnesses saw McKinney engulfed in flames. The electrocution actually caused a transmitter to explode, knocking out power to the area. McKinney is described as an experienced climber. He graduated from Armstrong High School.
After 2 years of historically low home heating prices, the federal government projects a different story this winter. Home heating bills for natural gas users are expected to be about 13% higher compared to a year ago. That's an average heating bill of about $680. The price spike is based on an anticipated increase in demand for natural gas. Well, students and volunteers in Brooklyn Center have teamed up to highlight an act that countless kids do every day, and that's walk to school.
That's right, and their goal is to promote safe walking and biking. As Renee Bonneau reports, it'll take everyone in the community, though, to make that happen.
For Jason Campbell, it's a treat to take his first grader Elias to school on foot.
It's always nice to get out inside and enjoy the weather before it gets cold.
Besides the exercise, their morning walk is a tool to teach little Elias how to be a good pedestrian.
Follow the rules of the road to try to look both ways.
That's why they're more than happy to celebrate International Walk to School Day at Elias's school, Evergreen Park Elementary.
To promote pedestrian safety for kids and also to create safer routes for walking and biking to school for kids.
Volunteers share helpful tips such as staying on sidewalks and in crosswalks, obeying traffic signals, and looking left, right, and left again when crossing the street.
Just as important as it is for drivers to pay attention behind the wheel, walkers should unplug their devices and focus on the road.
Kids who have phones, who have electronics, who are distracted, and they're not paying attention to their surroundings.
But some safety issues are out of pedestrians' control. That's where the city steps in.
Identified some crossing issues, some missing sidewalk issues.
Using county and federal grant money, Brooklyn Center worked with 9 schools over the last year, including Evergreen Park, to identify the safest routes to school and areas that might pose a risk to pedestrians.
It helps us to coordinate some projects that we might need to spearhead with the city as far as create some new sidewalks along some of the busier streets, or improve some crossings as far as safety goes with crosswalks.
Jason Campbell does his best to keep his son safe on the road, and it's a relief for this dad to know he's not the only one.
My kid's safety is priority to me and is for every parent, so it's something that's always on your mind.
In Brooklyn Center, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
North Memorial says children 10 years or younger should always walk with an adult, and that's because they have trouble judging vehicle speeds and distances and typically aren't aware of the rules of the road. Coming up, free gardening supplies, or how about a free piano? We have an interesting way to save money.
Sounds like it. And then later in sports, Wayzata tries to topple powerhouse Edina in section girls tennis play.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Today in Money Savers, you can save cash on everything from rain barrels to a cup of coffee.
Or you can pick up something you need and not pay anything at all. 12 News reporter Shannon Sladden has this week's wrap-up of money-saving tips.
Have you ever had something that you didn't want or need and you just wanted to give it away? There's actually a term for that called the gifting economy, and a website called freecycle.org can help you get involved.
It's a way to help other people is always something that makes everybody feel better. There's also the confidence in knowing that I have something and it's not being used and somebody else can use it.
To use FreeCycle, you have to log in and create an account. Then you can browse through items from couches to pianos to gardening supplies that people are offering for absolutely free. If you see something you like, you can respond to the person and arrange a pickup. You can also post something you are giving away, or you can even post something that you are looking for. With all interactions, your identity is protected until you choose to exchange information. There are currently more than 11,000 FreeCycle members in Hennepin County, and you never know what you'll find. Dean Cummings, the moderator, says he's actually seen a few cars and even a boat given away online. Hennepin County is out with their new Choose to Reuse coupon book. The coupon book encourages people to go green and save some green by offering discounts at secondhand and rental stores. Last year, people redeemed more than 25,000 coupons. New this year, you can download the coupon book on your smartphone for free by searching the App Store for Chinook Book.
We're wanting to make sure that we're reaching new people with these coupons, not people who already shop at these stores. And we think going to mobile apps and also additional outreach strategies to really try and target new people to reuse shopping is where we want to take it.
You can pick up a booklet at libraries, service centers, or Three Rivers Parks. Coupons are good from now until the end of November. Today through Friday, you can also get a free cup of coffee. Starbucks is promoting cooperation in light of the government shutdown by offering a deal. They call it Pay It Forward. Bring a friend with you to the coffee shop, buy a drink for them, and you get a free tall brewed coffee. And that's your Money Savers news for now. Back to you, Mike and Alex.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Well, coming up, a group of early morning risers in Maple Grove with something to cluck about.
But first in sports, Osseo battles Champlin Park for the top spot in Northwest Suburban Conference Volleyball. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
When you think of girls tennis in the state of Minnesota, you can't leave out Edina, and they're good again.
Yeah, and you know, you go back in the record books back to the 1970s. They've won like 30 state championships in tennis. It is unbelievable. Edina even reaching the state girls tennis tournament is like death and taxes, inevitable. Wayzata beat the Hornets in a tournament a couple of weeks ago, giving the Trojans a little hope as they met Edina today in the Section 6AA championship. The U of M's Baseline Tennis Center, the site. At number one singles, Wayzata's Kelly Yang on the far court against Caitlin Merzbacher. They trade shots, and then Yang's cross-court forehand sets up a backhand touch volley for a point, and Yang wins 6-4, 6-4. The first doubles, Sam Stevenson and Haley Nichols in the far court for Wayzata. Edina's Kelly Rieger puts away the winner. Rieger and Mackenzie Marinovich win in 3 sets. The number 3 singles, Wayzata's Haley Kane on the far court. She takes the point, but Maddie Boyer dominates the match for the Hornets. And Edina gets the better of things in most matches. Sophia Reddy on the near court, number 2 singles for the Hornets. She wins the net battle with Sydney Farmer. Reddy wins 6-1, 6-love, and Edina rolls past Edina 6-1. The Hornets head to state. The Osseo and Champlin Park volleyball teams each march through the conference part of their schedule without a loss. With the regular season closing in, the Tuesday match between the two would more or less decide the conference championship. First set, Champlin Park on the near side, and Sydney Hilly puts away the set from Brenna Walton for the kill. They trail by 5 points. Osseo, though, maintains its lead. The pass going back to Jaslyn Telnielu, who executes the setter dump for a point. The Orioles win the first set 25-15. And these guys are fired up about that. Second set, the Orioles play the ball off the net nicely. Hannah Pekarik on the outside, the attack and kill. Osseo leads 23-15. They win it again 25-15. Third set, nice dig by the Rebels' Keely Miller. Janae Alderson racks up the kill, tying the score at 14. But Osseo is a team that comes out on top. And yellow, the dig. Megan Pekarik, the set. Jackie Jones, the kill. Osseo takes over sole possession of first place in the Northwest Suburban Conference with a 3-set sweep of Champlin Park.
Having that mentality of going in the match, thinking that we're going to win every time, staying confident, and working with each other. We have great chemistry, and we want to keep that going.
Wayzata's volleyball team has had an up-and-down season, but the Trojans could be a scary team to face at playoff time. Trojans on the left in the first set against Shakopee. Mariah Halverson has her hit blocked, tips the next one, and then hammers home a free ball as Wayzata builds a big lead and holds on for a 25-21 win. In the second set, the Trojans attack in the middle. Marissa Greschel puts it away on the way to a 25-22 victory. And Wayzata completes a sweep. Tia Dilly-Starks gets the kill off the blockers as Wayzata downs Shakopee in 3 straight. Maple Grove's girls soccer team was upset by Osseo in a shocker in the first round of section play last fall. The Crimson looked to avoid a similar fate when they hosted Champlin Park in the Section 5AA quarterfinals. A Maple Grove own goal gives the Rebels a 1-0 lead that holds until late in the second half when Lauren Schwarzrock scores for the equalizer for the Crimson. Scoreless through 2 overtimes, so we go to a shootout. Casey Audie making a big save there for Maple Grove, and it gives Brianna Johnson a chance with a winning goal, and she buries the shot. Maple Grove wins 2-1. They advance to the semifinals on Thursday. 3 of the 4 quarterfinal round games in the Section 5AA boys soccer tournament were won by lower-seeded teams. Top-seeded Maple Grove did not fall victim to upset the Crimson Blank Spring Lake Park 3-0. 5th-seeded Park Center edged number 4-seed Mounds View. 7th-seeded Champlin Park pulled the biggest upset, taking out number 2-seed Irondale. And 6th-seeded Prairie Seeds Academy, playing in Class AA this year, eliminated Osseo 1-0. The semifinals are Thursday with Champlin Park at Prairie Seeds at 4 o'clock. Park Center is at Maple Grove in the other semifinal. The Section 5AA final is next week. Teams in Section 6AA begin play on Thursday. A dozen of the finest athletes and coaches from Robbinsdale High School will be honored at a ceremony late next week. We caught up with one of the inductees, Len Lilyholm, for this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12. And here's a clip from that story. Len's hockey life spans some 60 years now, from growing up near Twin Lake and Crystal, and then in the late 1950s playing 3 years at Robbinsdale High School. He was the only all-state player in the school's history.
Well, I was obviously not the biggest guy on the team, but I was probably the fastest one, and so I was very quick, and I could pretty good stick handler and stuff, so I was able to control the play and things like that as time went on, and I was always more of an assist player than a goal scorer.
You can catch the rest of Len's story through Wednesday on Sports Jam, through tonight, and also tomorrow morning, 3:30, 6:30, 9:30 p.m. here on Channel 12, and Thursday morning at 6:30 as well. Very interesting man, very distinguished hockey career he had beyond high school.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, why one man from Missouri traveled all the way to Maple Grove to pitch a tent.
Quite a story. We'll be right back.
One of the Twin Cities' first standalone Chick-fil-A restaurants opens bright and early Thursday morning in Maple Grove.
But folks have been camped out since Tuesday night to make sure that they'd be among the first 100 people in line for the grand opening.
Tomorrow morning when they walk through the doors, they get free Chick-fil-A for a year. So it's 52 meals. So basically it's one meal a week that they have on us for being, raving fans of Chick-fil-A.
Tents were scattered throughout the Chick-fil-A parking lot Wednesday afternoon. As of 1 o'clock, restaurant staff counted about 45 people in line. Campers brought everything from food to books to sleeping bags to recreation equipment to keep them entertained throughout the day. Alan Klein drove 7 hours from Missouri just to be the first one in line, which means he's guaranteed to get those 52 free meal coupons. And this will be his 11th Chick-fil-A grand opening.
And hey, it's free. I mean, you figure 52 meals, about $340 for 24 hours. Where can you go for that?
I don't know. In addition to the free meal coupons, Chick-fil-A provided all of the campers with breakfast, lunch, and dinner and access to restrooms. So doing the math, he's done 11 of these openings, so he could have a free sandwich a week for 11 years.
Wow.
Is that right?
You've done the math. It sounds like he's done the math,
He's
too.
got the math down. Yeah. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.